even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick Podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond Mark!
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. He is Pierre McGuire. I am Jimmy Murphy. And Pierre, as predicted here, the Winnipeg Jets lock up Kyle Connor at, I think, a very reasonable price considering the market climate right now for both the team and the player. He will be getting $12 million a year for the next 8 years.
That's about $2 million less than I thought he'd get. But that's okay. That's a great job by Mark Chipman and Kevin Cheveldayoff and the management team there in Winnipeg. And isn't it appropriate that on the day that they signed Kyle Connor to the richest contract in Winnipeg Jets history, Mr. Chipman's joining us on the show? That's very appropriate.
Very excited for that. We were in touch yesterday. We were actually he was going to be on yesterday, but he was called into a meeting and rescheduled for today. And I don't know what that meeting was about, but maybe it was about this. Who knows?
I'm going to say he was meeting his banker.
Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations to Kyle Connor and the Jets too. I think that says a lot, Pierre, as you said, to me off the air, about the player, but also about where the team is right now and the environment they've created, the culture they've created, and the core that they have going right now in Winnipeg.
Don't discount, and I can't wait to talk to Mark about this. Don't discount when a guy like Jonathan Toews comes back to a city like Winnipeg, where he's from, and is so excited to be part of this. Don't discount the value of that when it comes to keeping players like Kyle Connor. It's really important. The other thing is Hellebuck's a Michigan kid. Connor's a Michigan kid. Hellebuck signed long-term there. Look at Mark Scheifele, signed long-term there. Josh Morrissey signed long-term there. Ask Alex Iafallo, who's a kid from Buffalo, New York. He couldn't wait to sign there. He loves living there. I mean, so there's a lot there that's gone on. But I can't wait to ask Mark, because he's a North Dakota guy. He played football at North Dakota, and Jonathan Toews obviously was a pretty good hockey player at North Dakota. I wonder how much it meant to him that a Dakota guy would come and play for his Winnipeg Jets. But I think we're excited, obviously, I know we're excited to have Mark. What about the games last night?
Yes. Well, let's talk about a little bit that before Mark comes on right now. Pierre, let's start the first game. The Chicago Blackhawks lose 3-2 to the Florida Panthers. Pierre, the announcers at the end of the game, and this is I thought for stretches of the game, Chicago was hanging with them, right? But the announcers at the end of the game saying, oh, well, they went toe-to-toe with the champs. And let's call a spade a spade. They're not sniffing a win, if not for Spencer Knight, who I thought was amazing last night.
Spencer Knight was really good, and so were the goalposts.
Yes.
They were very friendly.
That's a good point.
Especially early in the game. All that being said, I give Chicago credit. They figured it out after the first 20 minutes. Their end zone coverage had to be fixed, and it got better. I will cede them that. They got a lot of work to do.
They do.
They got a lot of work to do.
Would you agree with me, Pierre? I had a scout text me towards the end of the game. Remember in the end of the game when they were trying to get it out of zone so Spencer could go to the bench?
Well, that was
– oh, boy. And you see the look on his face like, uh-oh, this is going to be interesting here.
The one thing I'd say is that, and again, I broadcast for a long time, so I know that everybody's got a bone to pick with all the announcers.
Right.
I'm saying to myself, have these guys ever coached? Like, do they understand how much in a hockey game a minute and 15 seconds is? Do they understand, like, you don't panic, calm down, to get the puck in the zone and go to work? You got plenty of time. You only got to do it right once.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say the names of who was announcing the game that I was watching, because they're different feeds, but none of those guys had coached, and they got to calm down. Like, if you don't know what you're talking about, then don't talk.
Yep.
Just don't say anything.
Your favorite saying about the fish?
Yeah. Even a fish wouldn't get caught if it kept its mouth shut.
All right. And on to the next game, which I think we would have to agree was the most surprising of the night. The Pittsburgh Penguins, who everyone pretty much has pegged for a lottery team, definitely in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes when all is said and done, they go into New York and shut out the New York Rangers. And a former Bruin, by the way, Justin Brazeau, lights the lamp twice for the Penguins, Pierre. but Seelofs was a story for me.
I think they're overhyping that, though. I think the New York media is overhyping that. Like I thought Pittsburgh was
Rangers off the hook.
Pittsburgh was a better team. Pittsburgh outshot
Yes.
them 30-25.
Yeah.
Look at Malkin, Brazo, and Mantha. That line was running roughshod all over the New York Rangers. Mike Sullivan's going to go nuts. Lafreniere, like his in-zone coverage on the play that Brazo opens the game with the goal.
Yeah.
What's he doing? Like, if he doesn't know that by now as a first overall pick, and he's 5 years into his career and he doesn't know that, that's his guy in that setup, in that coverage scheme, that's a problem. And you know what? I'm going to say it now. I'm going to get it out there. And so like I said in a lot of different, whether it's on CBS, whether it's on Bet Rivers, whether it's on the eye test, whether it's with Tony Marinaro, with Mitch Melnick, Mark Madden, all these different opportunities I have to talk hockey, which I love to do. If the Rangers don't get an identity soon, they're not going to be in the hunt at all.
Yeah.
Like Mike, and you could see Mike was mad.
Oh yeah.
Mike was mad. And you know, the first game's the first game. You tell me, what's the Rangers' identity?
I don't think anyone knows right now.
Okay,
it's going to be a work in progress for about a month, I think.
Yeah. Where was Panarin last night?
Yeah. Contract year too.
But where was Panarin last night? You know, they were bragging about, and I think Vinny Trocheck's a good player. How come nobody talked about the fact Vinny Trocheck was wearing a full face mask and how that affects a guy's ability to win or lose faceoffs?
Mm-hmm.
He was a guy that lost a faceoff to Malkin on the Brazo goal.
Yep.
You know, like there's lots of little things here that we can go over. So it's not just that the Rangers were terrible. They need an identity. Michael Pekka's not there anymore, fellas. So I know Joe Sacco was a winger. He wasn't a centerman. Mike Sullivan was a centerman. I don't know how much he's teaching faceoffs, but I know one thing. The Rangers were always, when Pekka was there with Laviolette, they were a top 5 faceoff team in the league. That's what I know. And another thing I know, I don't think Mika Zibanejad can play wing. And they had Mika Zibanejad playing on the wing. And I don't think he can do that.
Well, I guess, you know, you look at silver lining, better the first game than the 25th game, a game like that happens.
Fair, and that's why you don't overreact. But I'm just telling you, if I were Mike today, Sullivan, I'd
got a lot to work with.
I'd say, hey, we got to get an identity here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know who we are right now. So that's a problem with them. Pittsburgh does know who they are. Yeah. They're a blue-collar, hardworking, industrious, well-coached, well-disciplined team that's going to get saves from Seelofs, and hopefully Seelofs' play will make Tristan Jarry better because he's going to be urgent to get back in the net.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to help manifest more competition.
That was my next question to you. Were you surprised that he got the start over Jarry? I wasn't.
Not at all, and I'll tell you why. Guy wins a championship last year in the American Hockey League. Guy's the MVP of the American Hockey League, and the guy had a great preseason.
Yep.
Put it all together. It fits.
Yep. He was good. Just seeing if I could. No, it's not Mark. All right. The third game, Pierre. First off, I don't think I've ever seen a team pull this off where they did a jersey reveal at the game. You know, we saw all these new jerseys come out throughout the summer, and the Kings, out of nowhere, they even had it up on the screen, presenting it to the fans as if they were coming out on the ice in the old ones, and they come out in these new jerseys. I thought that was pretty cool. I like it. Creative. Good move there. But that was pretty much the highlight for the Kings as far as last night went. They had a rough night against the Colorado Avalanche. Martin Necas, if he can stay healthy, is going to really help that team, Pierre.
Well, he's lucky. He plays with a guy who's pretty darn good. Mm-hmm. You know, you play with a guy like Nathan McKinnon, you're going to get opportunities. Keep your stick on the ice and go hard to the net. And you could see Necas can score from in tight. Necas can score from distance because his release on a shot is so good. And I think the most underappreciated part of Colorado's team right now, Devon Toews, Cale Makar, Josh Manson, Sammy Girard, Sam Malinsky, Brent Burns. That defense is long. That defense can skate. That defense can move the puck. That defense can shoot the puck. Malinsky had a great goal last night. And Manson had a fantastic fight with Jeff Malott last night. That's a titanic battle after Manson had a gigantic hit, a huge hit on Warren Fogle.
Yep.
So, you put it together. Colorado's. I don't have LA being in the playoffs this year. I don't. I
I'm
know
with
a
you.
lot of people do,
Uh-huh.
but I know I told you yesterday I don't have them in, and that's not because they're a bad team. I just think they're in a tough. That Central Division's tough, and I think they'll get 5 teams in.
And you talk about identity in terms of the Kings, Pierre. I kind of feel like they're kind of in this transition phase. They're not really saying it, but I feel like, Kenny's come in, he's inherited some players on that roster, a lot of them good, but just, sooner or later, he's going to start to put his own mark on that team. So I feel like they're sort of in this middle stage, if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. I think it's a great point. I think, well said. But, one of the guys who tried to do that was Corey Perry.
Yes.
And Corey hurts himself and, hurt his knee and had surgery. And
did you hear? They were booing him. Some of the fans were booing him.
He liked that.
I know. Isn't it great? Like
he enjoys that more. It's not so much the Edmonton stuff. It goes to the Anaheim stuff.
Yeah.
He and Getzlaff had some pretty good runs over there back in the day. So I can get that pretty well.
I'm just texting our guest, Mark Chipman, right now. He's just having some issues connecting. 1 second. Let me get that.
So Jack Eichel, by the way, breaking news, Jack Eichel has signed an extension.
Oh, there we go. What do we got? What's the contract here?
I don't know. I'm working on a podcast with you right now.
Oh, I thought you just saw it come across a wire. Okay,
no, I just
came across a Pierre McGuire wire. I got you. Breaking news. Pierre McGuire right here on the eye test. Jack Eichel has signed an extension. We knew that was coming. I don't think there's going to be anyone left in free agency next summer, Pierre.
That probably won't be for a while now. If you're an agent for a player and you got to get a guy signed by a certain date to get him 8 years, and with the market the way it is right now, why would you even do that? Because max you're going to get next year 7. Like, get your guys signed now. And if the GMs are silly enough to throw out some of these numbers, which they're doing, don't worry about it. That's their problem. They'll have to figure it out. You don't have to if you're the agent.
No terms yet, but I'm seeing a lot on social of 8 years. So there you go, like you said.
Oh, it's 8. It's going to be 8 years, not going to be less than that. For Jack. Jack's dealing with the back issue, so he's going for term. The dollars will be fine, and you got to remember Vegas is no tax. So
yeah, we knew that was going to happen. I had read somewhere too that when they brought in Marner, they already knew that even before. They said, Jack, we're going to get you done. We're going to bring him in. We'll do that, and then we'll get you done. And
that makes total sense.
Yeah.
I think I said it to you the other day, and I don't know if we shared it on the eye test, and I apologize if we did. Think about where Vegas would be right now if they hadn't traded Nick Suzuki for Max Pacioretty. And they have Jack Eichel, Nick Suzuki, Wild Bill Carlson, and they moved Tomas Hertl to the wing. How would that? And they get Mitchell Marner. How would that team be?
Oof. Interesting.
They would have more than one Stanley Cup.
We might have to do a call-in. I'm just going to relay to our great producer Shane here. Let me. Sorry about this, everyone. The gremlins are at it. All right, so I think we're going to get them on the phone. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a what if there. You could play with the Vegas Golden Knights, Pierre. The one thing I look at with them, again, we brought this up yesterday, I remember that, is how they spend that money they have now, that extra cap space.
8.8, the 8.8 they have on the cap because of Alex Pietrangelo. They'll figure it out. They'll identify their strength and weakness during the year.
I feel at this point, it could change, but would you agree with me at this point, it would likely go to the back end?
Yeah, if they could get a right D, unless they can find somebody internally that could do it for them.
Right.
But they got a couple prospects. I don't want to say their names because it's not appropriate. But they got a couple prospects that whether they keep them or not, I don't think it affects the long-term value of the franchise in terms of winning and losing. And those guys would have value on the market to try to address whatever organizational need they might have. So I don't see that being a problem. George is so aggressive, George McPhee, and so is Kelly McCrimmon. So They're going to be good, Jimmy. Like, I don't know. They're going to be good.
Yep. Pierre, well, we have time here. We're trying to work that out with Mr. Chipman right now. I was going to do it after, but let's jump ahead
Yep.
to the 4 games tonight. We'll get in what we can here. Start with the one that you'll be working both sides of in the post game. You'll be on the Bet Rivers Maple Leafs post game show, and then on the Sick Podcast post game, as you always are, with Tony Marinaro here later tonight. The Canadiens in Toronto to face the Maple Leafs in their opener. This is the game that I'm looking forward to the most on the slate tonight, Pierre.
Me too. I know a lot of people out west are looking at Calgary and Edmonton. They want to see that. This is one I'm really looking forward to. The Canadiens have made progress. They might not win the game tonight, but they've improved their organization significantly. Canadiens are a good team. I think Toronto's a different team. Toronto addressed that quote-unquote DNA change they wanted to make. Dakota Joshua is part of that. Nick Roy is part of that. We're going to see. We'll see a different team. I think Mateus Michelli is going to surprise a ton of people with his creativity, his playmaking skills. Getting Stolar signed to a contract makes him feel so good about himself, and I think his teammates are really excited to have him back. There's a lot of good going on in Toronto. There's a lot of good going on in Montreal, and it wouldn't surprise me if they were 2 of the top 3 teams in the Atlantic Division this year. It would not surprise me at all.
I have them there as well. I've got actually 1-2, as I said yesterday, Toronto and Montreal in the Atlantic. The other thing, too, I will get to it later, but they are the game I will focus in on with our Betway predictions later. Okay, we're trying to get Mark set up here. If not, we're going to have to get him tomorrow. Apologies. He's trying.
I don't think you'll get him tomorrow. They're playing Dallas tomorrow. I think you might be a little busy.
Yeah, good point. Well, we will see what happens. He's going to keep trying to get in here with the link. Pierre, okay, so let's go to the next game here. Bruins and Capitals, that is the game. Reminder, the debut of the Bruins Vibes post-game podcast here in the Sick Media Network with Brendan Snott and myself. We will be on 15 minutes after every Bruins game this season, except on Saturdays. And we will be on live tonight, taking your questions in the chat room, just as you can do with Tony Marinaro as well, and just as we do here in the eye test. This is a game, I mean, you look at the Capitals are heavy favorites, but the Bruins, to their credit, Pierre, and I sent this to you after our podcast yesterday when I was made aware of some quotes from Marco Sturm and also Cam Neely. The Bruins have pulled a complete 180 on their preview of what their team would be like that they had last year at the end of the season press conference, where they, as you said yesterday, we will not only make the playoffs, but we will make noise in the playoffs. And now they are saying, we're not focused on the playoffs. We're focused on getting better every game. That is, like, did somebody get in their ear or what? You've worked for teams, Pierre. What do you think happened there to just make a 180 like that?
I have to think somebody that's mature in the upper front office said, what the heck were you guys thinking?
Yeah.
Take that off the table now.
Uh-huh. Let's be real.
Let's get real. Let's not overpromise.
Uh-huh.
Let's over deliver. Big difference.
Exactly. And how much weight does that lift off the players and the coach?
Well, I don't know about the coach. The coach, they can't worry about that. If the coach is reading stuff in preseason, he's in trouble. It takes pressure off the leadership core of the team for sure. Right. Pasternak, Charlie McAvoy, whomever you consider the leaders of that team, those would be 2 for sure. I got to think Zadorov is in that leadership core. Even though I don't know, if I were Boston, I'd want Zadorov just to play. I wouldn't want him doing all the other stuff. So we'll see. But this is a big test for Boston early in the season. I know it's the first night, but they're like the Rangers, Jimmy. They got to establish how they're going to play. They got a new coach, and they got to, just like the Rangers, they got to establish how they want to play.
In terms of, though, not now, sort of like I said, the weight lifted for the players there, we saw it with Pittsburgh last night, right? Like, you go in, there's no expectations. You just go out there and play. What is that like for a kid like Fraser Minton, who's going in there right now in, basically as a third-line center in his rookie season here? How good is that to not have that pressure that maybe he was thinking about it before?
He played in Toronto. He played in Kamloops. He's played in some pressurized environments. I don't think that's that big. It's a good question. It's fair, but I don't think it's a big deal for a kid like that. I don't think. I mean, he played in Toronto in some big games last year. I don't think that's an issue for him.
All right, Shane, if you're listening, please check your text. I just sent you something from Mark. We'll try one last time to get him on, and if not, we apologize. Let's go to the next game, Pierre. Edmonton and Calgary. As you said, people out west will be looking at that. Always a good rivalry game, no matter the records, no matter the skill level on either side. Let's start on the Calgary side. We had somebody ask us about Coronado yesterday, but who are some other players you're honing in on this season with the Calgary Flames?
Well, what are they doing with Parake? That's going to be a big question. How are they going to work the goaltending situation out with Dustin Wolf, in terms of giving him a break from – he's going to get a lot of work. They got to keep him healthy. He's a critical component. What are they doing with Rasmus Anderson? How much game does Backlund have left? How much game does Kadri have left? Those are really important things for that team.
Right.
How much those top two centermen have left. They're playing Coronado on the wing to start. We'll see how that goes.
And how about Dustin Wolf? You fear any sophomore jinx or any of that?
That's what I was just saying. Like, how much is he going to play? I'm not worried about the sophomore slump. I'm worried about how much he's going to have to play.
Yep. In turn, they don't have a backup though up here. I mean, who's it now? It's Cooley, right? That's something.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know what the problem. I don't know what happened with Vladar there. You might know better than me. I don't know.
I thought Vladar was great there. I thought he did a good job.
I have no idea what happened.
Interesting stuff. And on the Edmonton side, Pierre, I mean, everyone's looking at all the superstars and the high-end guys, but who are some guys under the radar that you've got your eye on with the Oilers this year?
I think their depth defensemen have to step up. I think that's going to be for the entire crew. Skinner's got to establish himself early. I think that's going to be really important. And Matt Savoy, depending on how you want to pronounce it, he's going to have to prove that he belongs every day. And I think he will, by the way. I do. I think he'll be a really solid NHL player. I really believe that.
One player I'm looking at, Pierre, that I watched a lot of over the years, Trent Frederick is going to be starting the season on the right wing with Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that's great. I'm happy for that guy. I hope he does really well.
Yeah, especially after the injuries.
I don't know what happened in Boston. People on the Islanders say, well, this is why we moved Noah Dobson. We didn't want to pay him. I didn't hear the Bruins say that publicly, but something had to happen there.
No, and something I thought about just as you're saying this, it's just, light bulb goes off in my head. It was kind of interesting that the Bruins wouldn't give that deal to Frederick, right? And he ends up getting traded there. Mm-hmm. But then they turn around and they give 8 years for almost the same money to Tanner Jeannot.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying something quirky. Now, the Bruins are clearly, I remember what I said, the Bruins got to establish an identity. The Rangers have to. Really well, I think we're starting to find out. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not the way Marco Sturm has coached in his career.
I know. Did you hear Cam Neely saying salt and vinegar? That's what I want our identity to be. You're right on Marco Sturm there. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm not going to prejudge anything. I want to see how it plays out.
All right. Let's see. Nothing going on Mark Chipman right now. I apologize. So let's get to the final game of the night here, Pierre, and then I will give my Betway prediction and we will do our Q&A. The LA Kings on a back-to-back head out to Vegas, and they will face the Vegas Golden Knights and Mitch Marner in his debut with Vegas. We already kind of went over the Kings. You look at the Golden Knights, everyone's going to talk about the Jack Eichel, the Mitch Marners, what have you. How about some players there that maybe our fans can look at and say, I remember when Pierre McGuire told me about that guy.
Barbashev's going to have a big role there. He's an important guy. He really is. Tomas Hertl, if Tomas Hertl is playing in the 3 holes as centerman, that could be scary. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, that could be really scary. To me, the biggest thing is what happened, and I'm not starting a rumor. I'm asking a question. Carter Hart's out there. What happens if Vegas signs Carter Hart? How much does that change their team?
A lot.
I think so.
And it's not like they don't have bad goaltending right now.
But they want to Stanley Cup with Aiden Hill. It's not like they have bad. I'm just asking. So what happens if you have Aiden Hill and I think a pretty good goalie in Carter Hart is a 1-2 punch? Right. Changing your team a little bit. So what happens if they get Carter Hart?
They're in a position, like we're saying about Hill too, Pierre. It gives Carter a time to find his bearings and everything too, because you've already got an established guy in Aiden Hill. It's not like he's going into a team where all of a sudden he's just got to be the guy. He's going to have time.
It'd be like people are wondering, why didn't he sign in his hometown in Edmonton with the Oilers? Because I don't think that was the right move for him.
No.
The scrutiny would have been unbearable.
That's exactly what I was getting. The spotlight would have been way too bright there.
So you go to Vegas, where Vegas Golden Knight hockey is really big in the community. It is, no question. But there are 50 other shows every night. So like, as much as maybe you're on the spotlight, you're not white hot spotlight every night.
Yeah.
No way. Especially during football season.
Yeah. I think any Canadian market would have been hard for him, you know. I agree
with that. I agree with that.
All right. It looks like we're not going to get him. We will try another time. I'm seeing what Shane's saying right now. Let me talk to you right now about our sponsor, Vago Italian, up in Montreal. Every time I read this, I get hungry, Pierre. And I'm really I'm really looking forward to it. For our friends over there at Vago, I want to let them know. Okay, yeah, so we're going to have to do it another time. That's fine. I want to let them know, too, I'm going to be up there November 13th to the 15th, Pierre. I'll be going up there for the Bruins and Canadians play on the 15th. I'm going to be live from McLean's for the Bruins Vibes on the 15th pregame, but I'm hoping maybe Friday night to go in and meet the crew there, so I'll arrange it with you, Pierre. I'm sure you can put me in touch with them.
Oh, my gosh. It's an amazing place.
Yep.
You're having chicken parm, pasta, broccoli rabe.
Yeah. Sounds good. Well, listen, they combine old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. Private dining rooms for any occasion. Open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They are located at 1336 Green Avenue in Westmount neighborhood of Montreal. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. And of course, our wonderful friends over at Betway, where you can still go all the way with Betway. And even on your first bet, if you're a new member and you lose, you can get up to $200 credit back. You must be 18 plus. Always bet responsibly. The offer is not available in Ontario right now. Other terms and conditions apply. And here right now, Pierre, is my pick for tonight. And I'm not going to do it every night, but just because it's the first week, I'll do it every night this week. In the future, it'll just be on Fridays. I'll give my picks. My pick for tonight, as I said, I'm looking at the Canadians Maple Leafs game. Every game except one over the last two seasons has gone under the total predicted in these games. Usually it's around 6 to 6.5. It is at 6 tonight over at Betway. I like this one to go under. I like an overtime game as well. You can get great value on that. Go to the section there. It says game lines, and you'll see where it says draw. That means overtime. Click on that. And right now, last I looked, it's plus 320. So if you bet $100, you win 320. So the draw, meaning the game will go to overtime. I don't know who will win, and the under 6. All right, let's get to the Q&A. What do we got? CMO hockey training. Pierre, the Hawks struggled with zone entries on the PPE yesterday. What did you see from a coach perspective, and how can they make adjustments?
You got to remember, they're going against Florida that's in sync. This is a Chicago team where most of these guys haven't played that much together. They got to establish, if they're going to do the slingshot in particular or the reload, they're going to have to establish who's going to enter the zone with puck possession. More times than not, it should be Connor Bedard. So there's a few things. I watched the entire game. I mean, there are a few things Chicago has to do. In zone coverage has to be better. Entries on the power play needs to be better. Better puck movement, better identification of outlets that are available, less stretch passing. There was way too much stretch passing last night. They have to get out of that. But they look at the last 40 minutes, they played their butts off. They tried really hard.
How about that tilt with AJ Greer and Nick Foligno?
Yeah, Nick. Well, you see, AJ's a tough kid. Nicky's a pro.
Yeah.
Nicky knows how to fight. All you had to do is watch that. Yeah. And for everybody out there who doesn't understand, one guy's really tough, AJ Greer. The other guy's not just really tough. He's a professional fighter.
Yes.
He understands leverage. He understands how to get guys off balance. Yep. He knows when to throw. He knows when to switch hands. He's a pro.
He's also a former teammate of AJ Greer from the 2022-23 Boston Bruins.
You know that when you're on the ice,
that doesn't matter.
Friends, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There's somebody I heard the other day talking about that, Pierre, saying it totally goes out the door once you're on the ice. And he said, I think it was Aaron Ward. He was talking to Mitch Melnick, and he said his former roommate, I forget who it was, but he said he gets on the ice and the guy just looks at him and gave him that look. And he says, oh man, because he knows he's not a fighter. He's not a fighter compared to this guy. He says, I'm about to get my butt kicked. So good stuff. All right, next question. Franco, Jimmy Pierre, have you watched Zorowski? What are your thoughts on him as a prospect? I have not, Franco.
I've seen him, and he's he's an A-level prospect. He is. He's an amazingly talented kid, but I have not seen him play live in the rink. I've seen him on tape, but I've seen him play, yes.
All right.
He's an extremely talented player.
Next question. What do we got? Chris Gaming TV, question for Pierre. Yesterday, the Penguins really impressed me. Dan Mew's defensive system seems really good. Do you think now that they can make the playoffs? Please say yes. Ha ha ha.
No, it's too early. There's only 81 games left. They got to keep everybody healthy. I almost said we have to keep everybody healthy. They have to keep everybody healthy.
Once a Penguin, always a Penguin.
That's correct. I think the biggest thing, though, about them that I liked, Ryan Shea played really well with Letang. It stabilized Letang. He wasn't running around as much. I thought Malkin was phenomenally good with Brazeau and Mantha. I thought he was really that was vintage of Evgeny Malkin last night. Crosby looked really comfortable playing in that game. So that's really positive. And I just thought they played big body hockey. Like they were not little Putians out there, getting pushed around. They pushed back. I know the Rangers out hit them, but Pittsburgh dominated in a lot of situations. They dominated faceoffs. They dominated shots. They dominated the scoreboard. And I thought they dominated little tactical things in the zone, with the zone coverage in particular.
All right. And by the way, in terms of the numbers on Jack Eichel, it is a 8-year, $108 million deal with a cap hit of 13.5 per season. It's about what I figured. So that's good. Good work by the Vegas Golden Knights.
It's amazing. And you're not saying anything wrong. I remember coaching the league when a whole team's salary structure was $8.5 million for a whole team. And people are out here saying, yeah, $15 million, that's great.
I know.
I understand. I respect the agents. Good for those guys. I'm just going to tell you straight up, I don't know how they're making the numbers work.
Yep. Well, will there come a time when that, that's going to be an issue? I think right now they're working.
I just don't know.
Yeah. And as we said too, you look at some of these markets that maybe don't have the revenue that, say, a Vegas Golden Knights have, and they have to sign a guy to a deal like that. It's going to catch up.
So, Jimmy, I want to ask you a question because you can look it up. What was the value of the Atlanta Thrashers when they moved to Winnipeg?
Let's see. $170 million.
$170 million. How much is Kyle Connor's contract for 8 years?
What was it again? I forgot already. He's getting 12 a year. So was it 64? 64, right? 96, excuse me. 96. Wow. I know. And that was changed a lot. That's the thing, Pierre. Is it going too fast?
The agents will tell you no. I think if you talk to TV executives, I think because they're the ones that are supposed to pay a lot of this bill.
HRR and all that, yeah.
I don't know if it's working for them. They may say it is publicly. I'm not sure it's working for them. I know what the numbers were at NBC, and I know why NBC is no longer covering hockey. They weren't prepared to spend over a certain number because they didn't want to lose money on the product. So
we'll see. We'll see. I know somebody over here is saying, see, this is, and I don't blame it. It's A to Z me if you can find that, Shane. He's saying Kaprizov's contract is just crazy. Good luck. Wild. That's my thought too, A to Z me. But then again, if it keeps going up, the cap, they are able to fill other holes in the lineup because they'll have more space.
This is where it's misconstrued. every market's different, especially the 7 Canadian markets, because they take in Canadian, they pay out US.
Yeah.
It's 40% more. I don't think that's even. We had Bill Daly on.
Yep.
Asked him about the Canadian currency stuff.
Mm.
And then not long after, you had ownerships in different cities going, well, it's hard to own a team in a small Canadian market.
Yep. It's going to be interesting to follow as we go on here in this new world of the NHL. All right, next question.
Let me ask you one
Go
more.
ahead. Yep.
Like Nashville used to be hot to trot. Everybody talked about Nashville.
Right.
When are people going to start talking about Nashville again?
I don't know.
It's an important team because it cements a lot of the middle part of the United States to the southern part. I'm telling you, Nashville's an important franchise. When they were going, there was a lot of stuff going. Like those Detroit, I did a lot of those games, Detroit, Nashville games, that was substantial. Chicago, Nashville, Columbus, Nashville, those were big games. They were really big for in-house, for money coming in.
Yep.
If Nashville's not very good, I don't know what happens.
A to Z me, a good point there, saying the AI bubble is about to bust. So is legacy media, in my opinion. The future's not as friendly as people think. Pierre and I both agree with you.
We agree with that, and that's why we're saying I'm
We're
not trying to be
naysayers. We're not trying to be all.
I don't want to be a doom and gloomer at all because I love this
Just
league.
being real.
Just trying to tell you the truth. Like,
Yeah.
I would, if a writer all the writers keep pontificating. The cap's going up to this. It's going. How do they know?
Right? How can they tell what the climate's going to be?
How do they know?
Yeah.
Because I talk to some really smart financial people every day.
Yeah.
And they don't know.
Well, remember, Pierre, I heard you with Mitch yesterday. You were saying that. I hope that these players and agents and teams are paying attention to what's going on in the real world right now because it's not pretty, So, all right, next question. Chris Noshik. Hey, Chris, speaking of Nashville, where is there no state tax bump? Why doesn't that help them win?
Well, it used to. Why do you think Stamkos signed there? Why do you think Marchessault signed there? It used to help. And I think it will eventually again. I just think they lost their way a little bit. They had some good runs.
Yeah.
Like they had some good teams. They had some good runs, and it was a very popular place to play. And I've done a Stanley Cup final there. I've done the All-Star game there. Nashville's a good market. It is. They just got to get back to winning.
Yeah, and that's a great point there, Pierre. Look, when Pierre and I and other people say the same thing, when we say that we're trying to say the no state tax thing definitely helps, it's a factor. We're not saying it's the end all be all, but there's people out there who are saying it doesn't matter at all, and that's just not true. Obviously, once you get the players like the Stamkos and Marchessault, you have to make it work with the rest of the roster and build around them and create that chemistry. That has nothing to do with taxes. We totally agree, but it did help to get those players on your roster.
Absolutely.
All right, next question. Chris L. Question for Pierre and Jimmy. Connor Bedard, 17 faceoffs last night, only 3 wins, and no Barkov on the other end. Is he really a center? 38% at the dot career. And how long for Chicago to deal with this? Totally with you, Chris.
We totally agree, Chris. Great point. We talked about it before, and I totally agree with you. And Jimmy knows I've been saying forever, Connor Bedard's not a centerman. He's a winger. And he's going to be a power play scorer, and he's going to be an elite 5-on-5 scorer when he gets a number 1 center to play with him. Who knows? Maybe it's Oliver Moore. Maybe down the road it's Ryan Green. I don't know. They got some guys coming. They do. But
they'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
All right, next question. Ethan Russell. What's up, Ethan? What did you think of Rinzel last night? Thought he struggled
Except for the one goal that I didn't think Spencer Knight played very well, and I didn't think Rinzel played it very well. Outside of that, I thought he was really solid. He's a really good player.
You know what I liked, Pierre, was when he did have a bad shift, he came back and had a better one. Like he didn't hang his head. There was no bad body language there.
He's 6'4", 210 pounds right now. So when he's 24, he's going to be 6'4" and about 225.
Yikes.
Good luck playing against them.
Yep.
That kid's going to – Chicago's defense is going to be huge. They're going to be hard to play against. They got elite speed up front with a lot of their younger guys. Moore's one of them. Green's another one of them. Obviously, Nazar's another one. They got Connor Bedard. Chicago's going to end up being good. They are.
All right, next question. Juice _031017. What are some of the keys to victory tonight for the Canadians going into Toronto?
Go ahead, Jimmy.
I'll let you take this one. You've been more on top of them.
They're going to have to make sure they stay out of the box. Even though Mitchell Marner's not there, I still think the Toronto power play could be lethal. So you got to play smart, number one. Number two, you got to make sure you have a matchup on Michelli, on Matthews, and on Nyes. You got to take the game away from those guys. Don't let them dominate puck possession. And I think if Marty can keep his guys, his top guys, Caulfield, Slavkovsky, and Suzuki away from some of the potential checking matchups, which I got to think maybe Stevie Lorentz, maybe Callie Yarncroke, Nick Roy. You got to keep them away from those guys. If you can, it's not that easy to do on the road. And then I got to think McCabe and Tanev are going to get a ton of time against that top Canadiens line. So if they do get a lot of attention, the other guys got to score. The other guys got to score. They really do.
I think it's going to be a good goaltending battle, too. All right, next question. Brad K., who is going farther in the playoffs? Giving up that fast, are you?
That's so good. That's really good, Brad. I love it. That's a good sense of humor.
Congrats to Aaron Judge, by the way. I don't like the Yankees, but I was happy for him. He delivered in the big moment.
I'm going to say that the Leafs are going further than the Blue Jays.
Yeah. I still think the Blue Jays make it to the LCS, even though I think there's going to be a game 5, but I think they close it out. I don't know if they get past that. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm with you. I think the Leafs are going all the way to the Stanley Cup final, just like Pierre. All right, next question. Bert L., how much does a contract a player signs with a team impact their relationship with teammates? Can relationships sour if guys feel others are taking too much money and not saving money for other guys?
You think it used to be that way? I'm not sure. Ever since now, I don't think it's as much. Once salary disclosure came into the game, everybody just fought for themselves. It's still a team game. And look at the Florida Panthers. Look at all those guys in Florida. They hugging, they're kissing, they're holding trophies, they're celebrating other guys signing. They're a team.
Yeah.
They're a team. I don't think that plays. It used to play more of a role. I can tell you, I've heard guys say, how the hell is he getting paid that? I'm way better than him. Right. I don't think you hear that anymore. I don't think that's the way the league works anymore.
All right, next question. Las Papas, is the Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner combination going to be scary for the coach since they are 2 pass first, second, third? I mean, they always like to pass instead of shoot.
Well, here's the one thing I'll say, Las Papas. You don't have to tell Jack Eichel more than once, hey, dude, start shooting the puck because you're playing with a playmaker, because Jack Eichel can rip it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm telling you, he can grip it and rip it as well as most guys in the league. So I think once he realizes that Marner's a real good tee it up kind of guy, I don't think that'll be an issue.
Quick sidetrack here, but kind of connected. Going back to Toronto, and I wanted to ask you this, Pierre, off the air today, I forgot. Do you think the fact that Marner, who is the playmaker there, right, is gone, does that make Austin Matthews start to think pass a little more or think playmaker more and not try not to be himself, or he's just...
No, because that's why Michelli's there. Michelli's a playmaker. He's not Mitch Marner. Please don't misunderstand me. But he's a slick passer, and his peripheral vision is really good. So no,
Matthews isn't going to feel any weight, saying, I got to make up for that. Okay.
I think he's going to feel more weight to get back to his scoring numbers.
Yeah.
The goals.
Yeah, sure. If he's healthy, watch out. Yeah. All right, next question. Stefan Cardinal. Hey, guys, what do you think of Adam Engstrom? I like him.
How could you not? Yeah. He's good. Solid player.
Yep. All right, next question.
Solid.
JRB, Struble is a young D-man who needs to play to continue to develop. How long does a team hold on to a player in this situation before seeking out a trade to benefit both team and player?
So here's the biggest thing with Struble. This is where Stefan Robida and Trevor Letowski earn their money. I've gone through this with a lot of other young defensemen too, and forwards. When they're not playing, you got to keep them engaged. You can't let them feel like they're away from the team. You got to push them hard. You got to practice with them. You got to do video with them. You got to stay on them. And I think the Canes will do that. But Robida's got a big job there because you got other guys you got to coach too. But those guys, it's real. I never forget Scotty telling me, Pierre in the playoffs, he used to say this all the time. Pierre in the playoffs, the extra guys need more attention than the guys that are playing, because it's a long grind for those guys that aren't playing. And you got to keep them happy. You got to keep them positive. You got to keep them in shape, and you got to keep them getting better.
Yep.
That was Scotty's stuff. And so that's what we would all as a staff concentrate on. And it matters. So I think in Strubal's case, it's a little early to push the panic button. Injuries happen. He'll be back in the lineup. And I think he will evolve and play it and be a real good player.
All right. Next question. Perlo Wisdom. How much trouble are the Sabres in as a franchise? Excuse me.
Good question. Perlo is so good on these.
Yeah.
I think he's ahead of the curve on this one. It's a big year for the Sabres. I mean,
I'm worried about their goaltending, Pierre.
You're worried about what? The goaltending? Well, they're trying to address it.
Yeah.
I think you have to explain to me what happened to Devon Levi.
Well, look, they made, like we both said, he needed to go have another year down there, but like he should be coming up now, right?
What are they trying to alienate the kid? I have no idea. Like, what happened? What are they doing?
Know. Instead, they're going out and bringing these other guys in.
I mean, and guys that are not better than him.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be
good. The start. There are a couple teams that need to start well. Pittsburgh needs to start well. They do.
Yep.
Buffalo Sabres need to start well. Anaheim Ducks need to start well. And the reason I say they need to start well is because they're not teams that can chase. Mm-hmm. They're not going to be a team that can rattle off 10, 15, points in a row. They're not going to be able to. No. But they get off to a good start and put points in the bank and save it up. They're going to be in the race. I'm not saying they're making it. They're going to be in the race. Those are teams. But for Buffalo, if they don't have a good start, like you might be done by January 1st. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. I'd have the Red Wings too in there, Pierre. I think that's another team huge in that
only
market.
Difference that they have, and it's not is they got Dylan Larkin, who's a veteran. They got Patrick Kane, who's a veteran. Mm-hmm. They got guys in the back end that have veteran presence and savvy, and they went out and got an elite. Now we'll see if he stays healthy, but Gibson's an elite goalie. He just got to stay healthy. So they've given themselves a little more wiggle room, but not a lot more. So I think you're onto something.
What about Nashville?
I don't think they're a playoff team, so I don't
either. And here's the other one more. We're done with questions, so I'll ask you one more. People, if I say this, will be like, well, they did it. They've done it 2 years straight. Can Edmonton survive another bad start?
I don't know. And that neighborhood, because of the Central Division being so good and Anaheim being improved, and I think San Jose's improved. I have no idea what is Seattle.
I have no idea. You talk about team without an identity.
Yeah. What is Seattle? Like, how do they play? What's their style?
No idea. I mean, I talk about
I know that they play Anaheim coming up. So we'll have an idea. But I don't know what their style is going to be. Like, if you were to ask me, what's Anaheim style? I can tell you right away. They're going to check. They're going to skate. They're going to incorporate their defense into the offense. They're going to try to push the pace, and they're going to lean on you on the forecheck because they got guys like Killorn and they got guys like Troy Terry and they got guys like Chris Kreider. They're going to come after you, and they're going to come after you in waves because they're deep down the middle. Re-signing McTavish was huge for them.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yep.
So you start looking at it, and there's some guys there that are going to take another step up in terms of development because Joel's there.
Yeah. It's no easy neighbor, as you like to call it. All right. That's it for us. Again, we apologize. We were unable to get Mark Chipman there. We had some technical difficulties. For some reason, the link we send for StreamYard would not open. And I just was going with Shane. He says, I've never seen anything like this because he sent us a photo, Pierre, what was going on. I said, I've never seen that. So
he's an honorable person. He didn't ditch. I know.
Oh, he didn't ditch us at all. I just feel horrible because he was willing to come on with us. I want to get him on, and I love talking with him. It's great. Yeah. And congratulations to him on getting Kyle Connor signed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great for Winnipeg fans. It is.
Yeah, it's good for Winnipeg. All right, everybody. Enjoy the matches tonight. Remember, Pierre will be on here. First will be on Bet Rivers for the Leafs post game for about 15 minutes, Pierre.
Yep.
And then switching over to here on the Sick Podcast Network for the Canadians with Tony Marinaro. I will be on with my co-host Brendan Sennett here as well on the Sick Podcast Network 15 minutes after the final horn. So for all you Bruins fans out there, come on over, vent to us or celebrate, whatever the game dictates. We're here for you. Looking forward to this. Enjoy the hockey out there. Thanks to Shane and our crew up in Montreal, and thanks to everyone else out there for all your great questions and listening and watching. We will talk to you tomorrow here on the Eye Test on the Sick Podcast Network.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.